All right, let's dive into one of history's greatest and maybe most surprising underdog stories. We're talking about a state that was on the absolute fringes of civilization, pretty much dismissed and despised by everyone. And yet, they completely rewrote the rules to forge an empire. This is the incredible, almost unbelievable story of the rise of the Qin State.
And that really brings us to the core question here, doesn't it? How did a nation of so-called barbarians end up conquering all of China? I mean, for centuries, the Qin were seen as little more than uncultured outsiders. So how in the world did they go from the literal edge of the map to the absolute center of power, taking down all their rivals to unify China for the very first time? Well, the answer? It's a story of a radical, ruthless, and absolutely revolutionary transformation.
So to really get a handle on the Qin's rise, you've got to start where they did, right at the very bottom. We're talking about the chaotic warring states period. And the Qin, they were basically a frontier state, kind of like a buffer zone against nomadic tribes out west. Yeah, to the established, sophisticated states in the Central Plains, the Qin just weren't really part of the club. They were seen as rough, uncultured, even tainted by their constant contact with non-Chinese peoples. For all intents and purposes, they were total outcasts. And this slide, this really lays out the huge cultural chasm we're talking about. On one side, you have the other states. They prize tradition, really complex rituals, and the power of hereditary nobles. But the Qin, they lived in a completely different reality. Their world was all about pragmatism, just pure survival, and the brutal necessity of constant warfare on the frontier. And here's the kicker. These weren't weaknesses. They were the seeds of a whole new kind of strength. So the big question is, how does a frontier outpost actually become an empire? Well, you do it by throwing out the old rulebook. I mean, completely. The Qin took a massive and, frankly, terrifying gamble on a radical new political philosophy. And that new philosophy was called legalism. And let me tell you, it was a complete rejection of everything the other states stood for. Forget tradition, forget morality, forget even family ties. Legalism basically argued that the only thing that mattered was the power and order of the state. And the way you get that? Through absolute, unwavering, and brutally enforced law. The architect of this whole revolution was a statesman named Shang Yang. And what's wild is, he wasn't even from Qin. But he saw an opportunity. He went to the Qin ruler and convinced him that by adopting legalism, they could transform their society from the ground up, basically turning their perceived weaknesses into unparalleled strengths. It was a total all-or-nothing bet on their future. And wow, this principle just perfectly captures the core of legalism. It is cold, it's calculating, and it's entirely focused on one single goal: empowering the state. The individual, the family, the clan, none of it mattered. Only the law and the interest of Qin. Okay, so what did this new philosophy actually look like in practice? Shang Yang's reforms, these weren't just abstract ideas. Oh no, this was a complete re-engineering of society for one single purpose: conquest. They were literally forging a war machine. And this is exactly how they re-engineered their entire society. First up, they completely shattered the power of the nobility. Suddenly, your family name meant nothing. Second, they focused the whole economy on just two things: farming to feed the armies and soldiering to win the wars. And finally, they built a true meritocracy, where the only way you could get power and wealth was by proving yourself on the battlefield. And the result of all this, it was unlike anything the world had ever seen. The Qin state became this hyper-efficient, centralized war machine. Every law, every resource, every single person was just a cog in this machine, all working towards that one goal of total domination. And that machine, it was fueled by a brutal personal calculus. If you really want to understand just how ruthless the system was, just look at that number, 1. That's how many enemy heads a single soldier had to collect just to advance one rank. Can you imagine? This incentive system created one of the most motivated and one of the most terrifying armies in all of history. So after about a century of these brutal reforms, the Qin war machine was finally fully unleashed. And what followed was a swift and brutal campaign that would change the course of history forever. I mean, the speed of the final conquest was just breathtaking. Starting in 230 BCE, the great states, they just started to fall like dominoes. Han, gone. Then Zhou, then Wei. One by one, the powers that had dominated China for centuries were just systematically dismantled.
all culminating with the fall of Qi. And by 221 BCE, it was all over. Just think about that for a second. In less than 10 years, the state that everyone had dismissed as a backwater of semi-barbarians had conquered, well, all under heaven. The Qin had unified China, creating the very first imperial dynasty. They didn't just conquer a kingdom, they created the political DNA for a centralized empire that would define China for the next 2,000 years.
You know, the rise of Qin is just a stunning story of transformation and conquest, no doubt about it. They created a blueprint for a centralized, powerful state that would echo through millennia. But it was a blueprint written in blood and iron. And that leaves us with this lingering question that feels just as relevant today as it was back then. The Qin achieved unparalleled efficiency and power. But was it a masterpiece of statecraft? Or was it simply the triumph of tyranny? What is the true cost of power?